So I remember about 15 years ago when I was getting ready to build my very first AR-15, I remember I was so excited, right? Like I wanted to build one because I was convinced the world was falling apart and I was going to need it. So I jumped onto YouTube, started doing all this research, and my excitement to build an AR-15 quickly turned into discouragement. It turned into confusion. Because there was so much stuff on the internet. There were so many people saying, you got to buy this part. You got to get this. You got to do this. And I just got really overwhelmed. Have you guys ever been like that before where you're just trying to do the research, but there's so many different voices? It just gets really hard. It gets really difficult. So I built my very first AR-15 and it worked. It was okay, right? But I was just watching YouTube videos. Didn't really know what I was doing. Then, when we opened our gun store and I decided to become a professional licensed gunsmith, I actually took a AR-15 building course from a professional company. So as I started going through it, I realized, oh crap, all the stuff I had learned on YouTube of how to do it actually wasn't correct. So I had built all these guns and they were wrong. So I took all my guns apart and I started rebuilding them. And this is why I decided to create the AR-15 Secrets Masterclass. So the purpose of this course is to really show you guys the exact step-by-step process that the leading AR-15 manufacturers in the world like Daniel Defense, Knights Armament, LWRC are using to build some of the highest quality AR-15s on the planet. And during this course, you guys are going to build this exact rifle. Isn't that awesome? Kind of hard to do with one hand here. So I'm going to show you guys a step-by-step process for exactly how to build this gun, the exact techniques that I used, becoming a licensed gunsmith, so that you guys can buy the right parts, know exactly what to buy, what tools you need, and how to assemble everything so that it actually works properly. It's funny, I was at an advanced carbine course a couple years ago, and there was a guy there who had built his own AR-15, and he was shooting the class, and during the class, his AR-15 actually had a catastrophic malfunction, which means it just fell apart. So as we were looking at it, trying to figure out what just happened, we discovered this guy put it together himself, but he didn't follow the things that he was supposed to do, and that's why the gun failed. Would you agree? We want to build a gun that works properly every single time and doesn't fail because we sucked. So when you guys invest in the AR-15 Secrets Masterclass, here is what you're going to get. You're going to get the AR-15 Secrets Masterclass worth $199. But if you know me, we're not just going to give you that because there's other stuff you need. So we're also going to give you the AR-15 parts and tools checklist. So these are the exact parts that you need so you can cut through the noise, cut through the BS, buy the right stuff, the right time, so that you can save a lot of money and a lot of frustration. So that is worth $47. You're going to get the AR-15 Secrets Masterclass worth $199. Plus, you're going to get the parts and tools checklist worth $47. Plus, you're going to get the No BS Guide illustrated manual worth $227. Is that right? No, worth $57. I wish I could sell it for $200 and something. Okay, so this is it right here. We literally just got them out of print. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to show you guys real quick what's inside of this manual. I am so proud of it. It was very hard to make, and it's really, really awesome. So let's take a look. Okay, so first we kind of share a story of the North Hollywood shootout, which is really crazy. But what I'm really proud of here is we kind of list all the different parts, all the different tools that you need to build a badass AR-15. But then we actually show you step by step with really high quality detailed pictures of exactly what you got to do to assemble each component. I remember the first time I built a rifle, I was trying to watch this video on YouTube, but the guy had really terrible lighting, and he'd be like, hey, put this part in like this. And I was like, I can't even see the parts because it's too hard to see, man. So with this book, you guys can actually look super high quality, super zoomed in to see exactly how to install each component properly the very first time. So what you guys are gonna get is the AR-15 Secrets Masterclass worth $199. plus the parts and tools checklist worth $47, plus the no BS guide to building a badass AR-15 worth $57, plus 26 custom upgrades worth $247. So these are 26 of the most popular custom upgrades that you could ever make to your AR-15. So like some really cool stuff. I also included a snippet of this inside of the book. So let me go to the back page of this book here. So like which kind of barrels you could choose, what type of bolt carrier groups, handguards, rails, optics, like so much cool stuff, dude. Like badass flashlights that I've been using for a long time. And you know, this isn't about spending a lot of money, because you can obviously spend a lot of money on upgrades. It's about choosing the right stuff, parts and manufacturers that you can actually trust. What you're gonna get is the AR-15 Secrets Masterclass worth $199, plus the parts and tools checklist worth $47, plus the no BS guide to building a badass AR-15 worth $57, plus 26 custom AR-15 upgrades, plus we don't leave you hanging worth $247. I remember, again, like some of the first ARs that I was building, I would be going through the process and then I got stuck. I didn't know what to do. And I would be like, I would waste hours on the internet trying to figure out the answer to the question that I had. And it was very frustrating to find one question in like a sea of millions of videos on the internet, right? So we wanted to fix that problem. We created a private, exclusive Facebook community where you guys can ask me questions specifically, and I'll be able to answer those questions lightning fast with videos, if that's what's necessary, with text, whatever, to make sure you guys can just build your gun and not get stuck on something that's very easy for me, because I've built hundreds of these, maybe thousands. Something that's very easy for me, but maybe confusing for you. We want to get this answered super fast so that you can build your gun, get onto the range super quick. All right, so what you're gonna get, the AR-15 Secrets Masterclass worth $199, plus the parts and tools checklist worth $47, plus you're gonna get the no BS guide to building a badass AR-15 worth $57, plus 26 custom AR-15 upgrades, plus we don't leave you hanging, guarantee, private Facebook community, and finally, one of the coolest things is the WROL Battle Belt setup. So this is it right here, guys. So this is my battle belt. We got my awesome Glock 19X, I think is what it is. So I'm gonna show you guys how to build one of these battle belts so that you will be ready without, or WROL means without rule of law. So this is when society collapses and you gotta be ready. So I'm gonna show you guys how to set this up, what kind of medical gear I have in here, what kind of mags, what kind of ammo, everything that I got, where you can get it yourself so that you will be ready. You guys are gonna get all of this close to $1,000 of value for only $97. That's right, $97. I must be absolutely. Oh, what the fuck did I just do? You dumb fuck. Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan here. Tiffany asked me to do something. I started trying to edit it.
You're gonna blame it on me?
That's what ended that video. So I don't know where I was at in that video, but if you guys want to build a badass AR-15 that will knock your socks off.
I think that it was at like the end of the video, pretty much. You probably just didn't say the price. Oh wait, no. So Troy said $97. So there.
$97.
Yeah. So I think you guys saw the whole video. But did you say in the video like how much Tiff did?
You did a lot. Now let's share the story, because not everybody knows like what happened with this. So I wrote the book. Okay, it took me a long time to write this. So I wrote it. I took like 1 billion pictures.
1,000,000,001.
Oh my gosh! Pictures. Not only did I take 1 billion pictures, but then I took them all, and we were like, oh wait, we made a mistake. Now I have to take them all again. So I took them all again. Then we hired this woman named Olga.
First, we hired the kids to snap the photos while Ryan was building, right? Because he can't do that. So the kids are like, oh, I gotta come help again. I don't want to take a billion pictures. And they're all, grumbling and humbling about it. And then Ryan hired, was her name Olga?
Ola, O-L-H-A. Hired her, and she lives in Ukraine. This is in January, okay? Hired her, she's in Ukraine. She's like editing it and doing all the stuff. And I have this rule with all the virtual people that work for me. And the rule is every single morning when I wake up at 5:30, I expect a message from you that says, hey, this is what I did today. This is what I got done, and this is what I'll get done tomorrow.
He runs a tight ship.
I don't play any games here, man. This ain't a game for me. So I wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't see a message from her. So I wait a little bit, and then the message I always send is like, what's the status, right? And then I don't hear from her. So now I'm getting upset, and I'm like, hey, you already know my rule, right? Like, where are you? Then the next morning she messages me, and she's like, now the war has already started in Ukraine. And she's like, Ryan, my city got bombed yesterday. We've been without power for 24 hours. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep working on your project. And I was like, okay, you're going to get a pass. I'm going to give you this pass just because you got bombed.
Kaylee says, I keep hearing you guys talking in the background. Did they hear me yelling at you? Because I was like,
maybe. I
was asking Ryan questions. He's like, oh, yeah, Tiff. And I said, you're kind of grouchy today. And he's like, why are you asking stupid questions? I'm like, you could just say like the answer, like just nicely.
Shit. Could people hear us? That is so not good.
That'll be funny.
That would not be funny.
I think it'll be funny because then you guys will hear Ryan being all grouchy today.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Whatever.
Yeah.
So lots of crazy stuff happening.
I heard they could hear you. Ah, good, because Ryan's always like grouchy, and then the camera goes, and I'm like this, and then the camera goes on. He's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And I'm thinking like, "You're just rude to me." So now there you go, boom, busted.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I will fix that, and that will never happen again.
Yes, I heard it all. They said.
No, I don't know if you did. Maybe. All right.
Okay.
Damn it.
So with the book, so Ryan hired someone, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, Ryan, this is like a plain Word document. Like, this is not this. Tiffany's designer brain is being like, this could be awesome. I could do all these cool graphics. So he's like, no, we're not doing it. Just, it's ready. And then I said, trust me, babe.
And we fought about this for about a week, probably.
Mm-hmm. Because I said it's going to take me for sure a full week to redo this whole book, right? And he's like, how many hours is that? Like, how much money is that? And I'm like, but it's going to be worth it. And let me tell you,
it turned out worth it. I'm glad that she did it, even though we fought for a long time. And finally, I just gave up and was like, whatever. Like, just do it if we're going to keep fighting about this. But
yeah. Yeah, Ryan, is it really that small? Oh, I don't know. I missed the comment.
I don't know.
Attitude up via Tiffany. Yeah. So I put up with a lot of Ryan's crap. He knows that.
Yeah.
He's grouchy. You can be grouchy.
There's an individual named Dan Kennedy who has the tagline right now that he's the grumpiest person in marketing.
Yeah.
My goal is to defeat Dan for that title.
Yeah, I think you win because, if you just think about it, how often am I grouchy? I'm pretty much most of the time. Yeah. And then every now and then, maybe that time of the month or something, I get a little bitchy. But for the most part, I'm
Yeah, you're pretty okay.
Pretty okay.
I get it. I know it's my fault, but whatever. Let's move on.
He's like, leave me alone now. Okay.
Okay, so pretty crazy shootings today. Should we talk about that first? Should we talk about it towards the end?
Okay, 1 second. Yes, Ola is okay. Everything worked out good, and she was...
Besides the fact that her, country is being attacked and destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. Still not in good shape, but she's okay. So, crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff,
really
man.
Sad. It's times like this when I kind of get depressed because I kind of feel like, what is the point of this world? What is wrong with people? Sometimes I just get super frustrated because I hate to see that side of humanity. The hate and the anger.
Yeah, so this guy in Buffalo, some of the articles are saying this guy was pretty racist. I guess he wrote a manifesto.
Yes, he took from he was
the South Carolina church shooter
and the one where in the mosque. where the mosque.
Yeah, in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So real piece of shit.
Yeah.
I don't say that very often either.
No.
My first thought was, like, I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to show your image. I don't want you to get any glorification. And I just think that you should be walked out with a bag on your head to a firing squad.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to... Dude freaking pled not guilty. And his lawyer's like, remember, guilty or innocent until proven guilty in America. And I'm thinking, are you freaking kidding me?
No, yeah.
And I'm thinking, you know what? These pieces of crap shouldn't even live freaking 3 days.
But see, that's the
This
problem.
should be, when you are caught red-handed like that, I mean, the guy's live streaming it. There's no denying it.
Yeah.
You should literally be walked out to a firing squad, and that is it. No, I'm serious. You're taken care of, and this is why. Because maybe that will make them think twice. Because right now, they're getting glorified. They're getting all this news, all this coverage, and they're creating more monsters.
Yeah, see, what's sad about this is like Nicholas Cruz, who was a Parkland High School shooter. I heard stories that he started getting like nude pictures of women while he's in prison.
Yeah.
He starts getting all these love letters from women.
Because there's freaking crazy people.
What is wrong with you that you're going to like try to fall in love with the guy that just murdered, you know, however many people?
Yeah.
But there's obviously a lot of people like that. And I think that's why they get
Scott
glorified.
Peterson. I mean, all these people in jail are getting like these fan letters and stuff. Like, screw that. You get nothing. You don't get any special treatment. In fact, I don't even think they should go to a regular prison. They should go to like freaking Guantanamo Bay or wherever it is where like there's no rules.
You're pretty hardcore. No,
No,
rules,
I do.
Yeah.
No,
that's pretty
for real.
hardcore, Tiff.
But that's what I think, because it's until we start taking this seriously and the ramification, like the.
So due process, like how do you feel about that whole thing?
No, I don't think in this situation when you're caught red-handed in that, there's no due process. You're a freaking cold-blooded, psychotic freaking murderer.
Yeah. Just shoot him. Kneel him down in the parking lot and smoke him.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Live stream that freaking shit. I'm mad.
I guess
I'm
you're very
so
upset.
mad because, like, it could almost make me cry right now because the hate.
Yeah.
Like, it's just demonic. That's what it is. It is freaking demonic, and these people need to be just absolutely, they should not have a chance for anything.
Yeah, you know, it really pisses me off that people like this that are convicted of such heinous crimes, they do life in prison, which means our taxpayer money is just being pissed away. Or even if they get death, right? They sit on death row for 26, 30 years, and then they're finally killed. Like, it just seems, and I get due process. I get we have a system. But, man, yeah, Derek, I kind of agree, buddy. I kind of agree. Let me approve your comment so other people can see it here. I think screw due process. I think I agree. Smoke these dudes, like, really fast.
Well,
And then the news story is active shooter got shot in the head by police. Don't try this shit in Florida.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, though, is that it's being glorified. And then by, you know, putting their names out there and stuff, showing their names, showing their faces, to them, that's fame. They don't care. It's like, you know, when they say the kids will get attention, even if it's
no
bad.
No matter what way.
Yeah, even if it's bad attention, they're getting in trouble and stuff, but they're getting attention, so they do it anyway. And that's what's happening with these shooters, right? They don't care that it's bad attention. To them, it's just attention. They are a nobody. They have, you know, they've got nothing going on for them. They're a freaking psycho POS sitting in their freaking room being all crazy. Like, I just think that it should be stopped. Their names shouldn't even be said, honestly. We shouldn't even say their name. They should just be taken care of. That is it. Snuffed out, gone. Like, what was that sexual guy?
Who?
That,
what are you talking about?
that hung himself in prison?
Oh, yeah.
Epstein?
Jeffrey Epstein,
Yeah. They should be,
Epstein?
Yeah.
Which means you just have to have dirt on the Clintons and you'll get Epstein very quickly.
So, and somebody said, like, try not to get emotional about it.
Thanks, Troy.
I can't. Like that, because every time I see another one, it makes me angry, but then it also makes me think, who is the next psychotic person watching this who is going to be fueled by this?
Yeah, so I really like New Zealand. They kind of have a policy that when somebody does stuff like this, they're not allowed to mention the person's name on TV and news. They're not allowed to show the footage, and they're not allowed to show his face.
Yeah.
So that way, like, it really is, okay, something happened, but we don't know who did it.
Yeah.
So you never really get the
100%.
glory from it.
100%.
And, you know, the NRA has been fighting that for a very long time, saying that the reason that mass shootings and things like this are increasing is because the media makes a really big deal about it. And the NRA was proposing a law that made it illegal for the media to cover these types of events. Because clearly, you're only doing this, the shooters are only doing it because they want the fame and the glory. Tell me what you guys think in the chat.
Deadliest shooting in 2022, and like the, you know, the other one, I'm not even going to mention it, like deadliest shooting ever. Like that's what they want. They're doing, you know, anniversary of and all this stuff, and then replaying those people, replaying their name, replaying their images. Like it just keeps going. And for somebody that is mentally ill and feels like they're never, you know, no one's ever going to know them or anything like that, they see this as a way to get shown, to get out there, to have their name, you know, somewhere.
That's pretty crazy. Hey, thanks, Kathy. We appreciate you.
Super crazy. Hate it. Drives me crazy.
Okay, so there was an interview of a guy who talked to him an hour and a half the day before.
Oh.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Hey, Shane, can you email that to me?
Yeah.
Send me that. I would like to see it. I mean,
so apparently, Jim, one of my students this morning, was telling me that like during his high school yearbook, they asked him what he wanted to like be when he grew up. And he said, I want to be a murder-suicider. So they like brought him in. They talked to him for like a day or whatever as like a, what's it called where they bring you in? They like, whatever. I can't think of it.
Like interrogate you?
No, like when you're mentally ill. If I like said, I'm going to commit suicide tonight.
Like Baker Act.
Baker acted. They Baker acted him. They talked to him for like a day or two. And then they finally just released them. And now something like this happens. Super crazy.
Wow.
So what about the shooting in California?
So I think, like I was just saying, I think that this was a piggyback off of that. The guy had been thinking about it, saw this happen.
Yeah, I guess this one happened on Saturday, and then this other one the day after, right?
So he's like, oh, now I'm going to do it, you know. One thing I have to say, you know, after the Pulse nightclub shooting, you said, like, you know, there's all these people, and there's one guy with a gun. Like, everyone, instead of run and hide, that's what, like, you know, all these active shooter courses and stuff tell you, like, run and hide, right? But if everybody is trained instead to bum rush,
you can't kill everybody.
You're not going to get very many shots off before people are on top of you. I mean,
but I got to tell you, man, somebody texted me the live stream video of the shooter in Buffalo.
I don't care about it.
We're not going to play it. Tiffany doesn't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
Made me very disgusting to watch it. But let me tell you, man, this dude, if you guys haven't seen it, I'm just going to describe it real quick. He pulls up in his car.
Don't give him anything.
Tiffany.
Don't give him anything. People can don't. So anyway, this church shooting was like the epitome of what you need to do.
Okay.
If somebody comes in as an active shooter, right? They bum rushed him. They freaking went full charge. Now the one guy did die, the doctor that was the first guy to go after him. But what happened was, you know, while this guy's paying attention to this guy coming at him, the pastor came and hit him with a chair, and then other guys came, and then they tied him up and hog-tied him with some electrical cords, right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to do a lot of damage because instead of running and hiding, and while you're hiding, he's just going to shoot you like, you know, sitting ducks, basically, as you're hiding behind pews and stuff. They bum rushed him and took him out, like, immediately.
So my point, Jerry, is, like, confirming here, the reason I'm trying to explain at least a little bit of the story here is for you guys to understand that there was zero time to react. Right. So he got out of his vehicle and smoked the first lady in a freaking microsecond. Smoked her.
So
and then another woman standing by the door, they saw him coming, but you don't process and realize what is happening.
Yeah.
Then he smoked this other lady right by the door. And I mean, this guy was a shooter. He's obviously shot before. This is not a freaking amateur.
Yeah.
This guy was a shooter. He had solid transitions. He, like, smoked them.
Yeah.
So this whole idea that I see people at the range all the time, they're practicing, they think they're ready for a violent self-defense shooting. Man, you saw that one of the guys that died was a retired cop. He was a security guard there. He died.
Yeah.
He shot the bad guy and the bullet bounced off the body armor.
Yeah, because he had body armor on.
But again, this guy obviously just wasn't
wasn't ready. It wasn't enough, right?
Yeah.
So this whole idea that just because you're the good guy means that you're going to survive one of these attacks, it's just false, guys, right? It's just false.
Yeah. I agree. No, I agree. And I never said that, like, obviously the victims didn't do anything wrong, you know, but if you're in a situation where he walks into a crowded room, this was outside of he started shooting outside of the supermarket, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was kind of spread out, you know. So
and he started firing into the window of the grocery store.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people ran, but one of the people just laid on the floor.
Right.
So the guy runs in and he, like, checks the corner to the left, takes out the person on the floor, and it's like, listen, man, when gunshots are going off and people are shooting, laying down is not what you do. You freaking run. This exact same thing happened during the El Paso mass shooting. If you guys watch the cell phone footage of that shooting, people were, like, trying to climb underneath the shelves and stuff of the Walmart.
Yeah.
But then their entire torso, listen, there's not enough room under those shelves.
Yeah.
So your legs, your torso are hanging underneath.
See you, yeah.
So he could just walk up and shoot you through the shelving, right?
That's why it's really important, like, to play that what if game in your head.
And you need to, even though it's hard. Somebody said it in here. It's hard to watch these videos.
Yeah, I know.
Movies have convinced you that these situations go down in a very certain way.
Right.
When you watch the real footage, you realize, listen, man, you're dead anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
You might as well get up and run.
Yeah.
You might as well attack this guy and you might live. But if you sit there and beg for your life, you are for sure gonna die.
Yeah.
So make a decision and go for it. If we think about the shooting at the mosque in New Zealand, right? That guy came in, started shooting people. And a lot of people were playing dead, right? So he walked out to his car to grab another magazine, which is weird, right? But all the people that were playing dead in the mosque, they just laid there, even though they knew the guy was gone already. So then the guy reloads, comes back, and starts finishing them off. Well, okay, the gunfight, there was a lull in the fight. The lull is when the guy runs out of ammo. You hear the mag drop, you hear the action lock to the rear, whatever. Do something. Sitting there is not going to help you. So you need to get up, you need to move. You need to fight him, you need to jump out of a window, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. So James says run towards or run away, but either way, keep moving. And I agree. But if obviously the opportunity has to be right for them to, you know, bum rush. But even Ryan was saying, like with the Pulse nightclub, when they went into the bathroom, you know, they went into the bathroom and they hid in the stalls, but you're hiding in the stall, but the guy's gonna get you. If he comes into that bathroom, there's nothing you can do. Break off the toilet seat, break the mirror, wrap some freaking toilet paper around it or your shirt around it and stand by the door so that when, you know, if that door opens, you can attack him. Like, make a plan with whoever's in that bathroom. Yeah. Smash the toilet. Use the porcelain from the toilet, right? Yeah. You can, I mean, there's a lot of different things besides just hiding, because hiding is kind of like you're just praying he's not going to come in or not going to find you.
It's a hope and pray kind of mentality, right? Yeah. And the reality is they can't kill. One shooter cannot kill everybody. He can kill a lot of people, but he can't kill everybody. Yeah. And you have to just, listen, man, people are going to die. Thinking about the glass thing, right? You're going to grab a thing of glass. Your hand is going to get cut to crap, right? It's going to be destroyed. Yeah. But you're going to die anyway. So what does it matter?
Fight.
Deal with that cut up hand, but you got to go for it, right? Yeah, and it's just like the Flight 93 on 9/11. Yeah. Like, it's going down anyway. Yeah, you're going to die. You got to just do something, and maybe you might live.
Survive.
Yeah, it's just wild.
So what about New York, California? Both very strict gun laws.
Which is strange because gun control is supposed to stop violence, so I'm confused by that, personally.
Well, I just, I wonder if this raises any flags to the people that are, trying to make all these different and new laws, thinking that these laws help.
Of course not, because, we know that every single year there are between 500,000 and 3 million people use a firearm in a justified self-defense situation. But how many of those are on TV? How many of them are on the news? How many interviews do we have of those kind of people? Right. And the answer is none. Like, it's very rare to ever see those situations. And when you do see it, they're vilified as if they are the criminals. Let's look at the Michael Brown shooting. We have Michael Brown, a criminal scumbag, who attacks a cop in a police car. Cop shoots him, which is 100% justified, and they riot and burn the city down, saying that Michael Brown is an innocent victim. So even when the good guy does the right thing, they go ballistic because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of stories where people, where people use a gun in self-defense, and stop something, and you'll find it if you dig deep.
In local news.
Yeah, and
but it'll never make national.
You'll find it if you dig deep, like on the, concealed carry or NRA type stuff groups, but you'll never see it like on, Fox News or CNN or anything like that. Like it's just kept kind of hush-hush.
Sure.
So,
and I'm actually a little bit surprised with the shooting that happened in California. The shooter was Asian. So I was a little confused about that one because usually they really like to paint shooters as being all white. It's all white supremacists, whatever, which I find super hilarious.
Well, the New York one was.
It was white, and there was a white supremacist. My point is, what bothers me is that we talk about like inequality in society or whatever. There are a lot of shootings, and I think some of them are racially motivated, but most of them are not, okay? But they because it matches their agenda. Are you trying to turn this on?
It's getting
you just got to tell me.
It's getting a little hot in here. I have the worst sunburn everywhere. Let's see if you can see it.
So many times, yeah, she got super sunburn. So they just try to make this stuff match their own political agenda. They don't care what's true. They don't care what's false. Like during the BLM protests, peaceful protests, some kids beat a white guy to death with a ball-peen hammer. They just beat him to death in the middle of the street. But that wasn't a racial hate crime. That's a hate crime. You murdered somebody with a hammer because he's a certain race. That is racism. Okay? This idiot murdering black people just because he hates black people, that is racism. Okay? We got to call a spade here. But it applies on both sides. And what bothers me is how they only talk about it when it's one side. This is everything, man. Hate is not about race. Hate, it comes from the devil, right? It's something that humans have been dealing with for a long time. There's a lot of evil people out there. They make up every age, religion, color, gender, whatever, and we need to it's just bullshit. Yeah.
So the California one, he was angry at the Taiwanese.
So they didn't really say what nationality the guy was.
Yeah, he said that it was the news said that it was politically charged because of the China-Taiwan conflict.
So was he Chinese, the shooter?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the church was how do you say it? Taiwanese?
Taiwanese church, yeah.
Taiwanese church. The church was a Taiwanese church.
Which is crazy because, again, like the Chinese Communist Party, they really talk a lot of negative propaganda about the Taiwanese people. So it makes sense that this guy got all that crap into his brain and now feels like he's doing society a justice by trying to hurt Taiwanese people.
Yeah, and as crazy as it sounds, just by you saying that, like, it's crazy to think that anybody thinks that they're doing any good at this, but that's...
Yeah, but that's what happened with the Holocaust.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's what happened with Benito Mussolini. That's what happened with Joseph Stalin. That's what's been happening with the Mao Zedong dynasty in China for 50 years. And, right now, China is, like, exterminating Muslims in China. Do you know this? Yeah, and again, our government just still does business with them, which is shocking to me. But they're just murdering Muslim people for no reason except for the fact that they're Muslim.
Wow.
So there's a lot of hate in the world, and yeah.
It's sad.
It's sad. It's
Sucks.
crazy.
It's sad.
Okay, are you guys ready to know the number one reason why you never date a stripper?
Oh, gosh.
Our live stream got cut off last week. Before I tell you that story, a transient Florida man strikes a woman with a machete. How crazy is that? So a transient man is behind bars after striking a woman several times with a machete in Pinellas County. This guy is 63 years old. He was traveling in a vehicle when a domestic altercation broke out. The woman reported calling 911, then threw the woman's phone out of the moving vehicle.
He got out. Has a machete in his car?
And he just hit her with a machete, possibly breaking her ankle. And, yeah, whatever. So when we owned the gun store, we had this guy. He was in the Army. He was in infantry. We called him Bear Paw. You remember Bear Paw? He had a lot of tattoos and stuff, and he had this huge, like, bear paw tattoo right on his hand right here. And Bear Paw, imagine, like, a punk rock kind of person.
Yeah,
He was a cool dude.
Yeah.
But he was like on the edge.
And kind of like Metro. Like he was like, his
Yeah,
eyebrows were a little too well done.
Yeah. So anyway, he's like, he comes in one day and he's like all cut up. He's got all these bandages on his arms and stuff. And I was like, Bear Paw, what happened, man? And he goes, bro. He's like, you know I've been dating the stripper, right? And I was like, okay. And he's like, we were having dinner in Ybor City, and this homeless guy walked up and asked for some money. And Bear Paw just said, like, no, this guy's been on multiple combat tours in Iraq. Like, he's seen some stuff, right? Bear Paw was like, nah, man, I'm not interested. Well, this stripper just started running her mouth. Yeah. And she's like, get out of here, you effing whatever. So this homeless guy pulled out a knife like this big and just swung it to go swing it at Bear Paw. Wow. So he put up his arm like this, and the knife just cut right through his arm.
It was pretty bad.
Severed the artery. It was, like, bad. He had another, like, cut, like, the tip of the blade, like, hit his face right here. And the only reason that Bear Paw survived this incident is he actually carries a tourniquet in his backpack. So he was able to put the tourniquet on his arm and stop the bleeding. So there were 2 lessons here.
One, carry a tourniquet.
Carry a tourniquet. And number 2, don't date strippers because they can't keep their mouths shut. And what was funny, like, he brought her in a couple days after that or whatever, and they're both telling me the story or whatever. And then she goes, Tiffany's like 10 feet away or whatever, right? And she's like, yeah, I work at such and such club. You should come visit me sometime. And I was like, no.
That's not going to happen.
That's my wife right there, like, that you said hi to a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. And his wife doesn't roll that way.
Yeah, it was weird.
Not a chance. Nope.
Strippers believe in open carry.
Yeah.
Can't date a stripper. Pole won't fit in the car.
I had something to say now and I forgot. Jeez. Oh, we have a lot of questions tonight because we're behind from last week. So make sure.
Okay, ready for the first one? Okay, oh, did we cover this one
No, we
already?
did that one already. We did that one last week. That one we caught last week.
All right. So, Eddie, is there any benefits of getting an AR-22 for training to save on the cost of ammo? If so, what 3 manufacturers do you like in this caliber? All right, so, yes, I think there's a huge benefit in having a AR-15 chambered in .22 long rifle. Kind of like when we have big ammo shortages like in 2016 and 2020 during the Obama era. You know, sometimes finding 5.56 can be very expensive or very, very difficult. In .22, you know, times when .22 is readily available, you can buy a lot of it
for cheap.
For $50, right? Yeah. Thousands and thousands of rounds, so super cheap.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, if you're going to buy an AR-15 chambered in .22, it needs to be an AR-15 that actually functions like a real AR-15.
Yeah. So that you don't develop these weird training scars that if you did have to pick up your AR, your real AR, so to speak, you're not all screwed up and treating it differently.
So the only 2 that I'm really know of that I would recommend would be the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. How much it'll sell for? $500?
Yeah, like you can probably get them for $400, and like $400.
Yeah, so that's a great option.
What about like using the CMMG conversion kit?
Yeah, that's a good option too, and those are cheap. Those are $250.
So $250, you can get a CMMG conversion kit, so you can take your standard AR-15, the one that
take your bolt out,
the one that you build with the AR-15 secrets course. Then you can just remove the bolt. Pop in that other bolt, and then it comes with a .22 magazine. So you just use the other magazine, and boom, you can shoot .22 all day long for cheap.
Yeah, and the final one would be the HK MR 5.56. No, they call it a 416, right? In the .22.
Yes.
The HK 416 .22. That again functions just like a traditional AR-15. A little bit heavy. But I think really awesome.
Yeah, so Metal Makes Me Crazy says you can also do a dedicated to 22 LR upper. So you can also do that. Smart. It's super easy, and you'll learn that in the AR-15 course, how to pop off the upper from the lower, and you can just pop on your 22 upper. So that's another option. That's 3 great options for you.
3 great options, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, next question.
Yes. So, Kennick Bill said that you can get a bunch of ammo at Rural King, which I saw. The prices are good. So, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Luna the Peacock says, Ryan, have you ever shot the BCM Reese from Bravo Company? I've never shot it. We had a young Marine transfer one into
Yeah.
our gun store, and
Beautiful.
it was sexy. And he
Yeah.
left it there. He shipped it to us, then he went on deployment or something, right?
He deployed, yeah. So we had it there sitting there for 9 months. So we're
We had it there
drooling
for a
over
long
it.
time.
Yeah.
It was a nice
Yeah.
freaking gun.
Yeah, beautiful gun. Love BCM. Totally.
So,
Great quality.
Jessica Young, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. How about a budget AR-15? So, like, okay, let me ask you this question. If you were looking to get married, would you purposely say, listen, I don't want, like, the wife I really want. I just want one that's, like, half as good because I'll just get a better one later.
No,
Like, would you ever
don't
say that?
do that.
You probably wouldn't say that, right? Because
Yeah.
the consequences of trying to make that additional shift are pretty high. Maybe this is a terrible analogy.
No, but I
the
mean-
same thing is kind of true with an AR-15. Okay, let's take this to guns or handguns. Buying a Taurus PT-111 or a Taurus G2C is a $300 decision.
Or like
it is not worth the $300 decision.
Or like a Sky or any of the kind of budget, a High Point, a Smith & Wesson SDVE 9. Like those are the lower quality ones. And the thing is that you're only saving, let's say you're saving like $200. So what Ryan and I always say is, you know what? Figure out a way, eat out less one time, that's $30 or whatever, and then put it aside in an envelope. Like, this is my gun money, and just take an extra couple months to get a great quality gun instead of buying a
Crap that you have to
cheaper,
replace.
lesser quality one that maybe might not be reliable, or maybe might be too heavy, or maybe can't handle the rounds, or maybe it's not.
Listen, when I built my very first AR-15, I remember buying the lower.
Yeah.
And then I waited like a month later and I bought the lower parts kit, which again is like only $80, but I had to wait a month.
Yeah.
And then I finally was like, I'm going to buy something big. I'm going to buy the barrel for $180.
But wasn't that kind of fun instead of just buying it all at once? Because it's super exciting when you actually can buy it and it comes in the mail. It's like it feels that little rush, right? That little buying thing.
Yeah, so don't feel like you have to rush out and just buy everything at once. If you can afford to do that, then that's great. But if you can't, it's better to just buy the right stuff slowly than to buy garbage quickly.
Yes, I agree, 100%. So if you are going to go kind of budget, then we're going to say, don't go budget as in the cheapest you can find, okay? With like a pencil barrel or like a carbon fiber lower or anything like that. Just at least go to like that mid range, right?
Yeah,
Where
my thing has always been, and I'll stand behind it, if you're spending less than $1,000 on an AR-15, you are wasting your money.
No, I think like $850, because you can get some decent ones for like
there are a few
$850,
but there aren't many.
Yeah. So
yeah, there aren't many.
But you want something that's going to last. You want it to last a long time, and you want something that if shit really does hit the fan, right? And this is the firearm that you have, right? That you are going to use and you are going to need. You want it to be reliable.
Yeah.
So that's our thoughts.
Yeah.
But
thanks, Dan. Thanks, Florida Sheepdog.
thank you so much, Dan and Buddy. We appreciate you. I saw Kathy gave earlier. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, so Brian Mills says, what's a great 22 handgun to buy? I really love, we have the Glock 44. I have a lot of 22 handguns. You want to know what's funny? The number one gun that I probably break 2 of them a year, is a 22 caliber pistol.
Yeah.
My Walther P22 breaks every other year.
I think that might be because
I use them so much. And my Sig Mosquito, it breaks consistently.
You use it suppressed.
Every 2 years it breaks.
But the Sig Mosquito's ammo picky, so
they're all ammo picky.
They kind of are, yeah. But I like the Ruger SR22. A lot of people like the Ruger SR22. The Walther P22 is nice, but it has that European magazine release, and if you're not used to that, that can be kind of weird. It's where the magazine release is like on the trigger guard. So it takes different training than typically what you're used to. But the Ruger SR22 is a really sweet gun. It's small, it's lightweight, it fits for a man's hand and a woman's hand.
Yeah.
Like that is a very, very sweet pistol. And then the Glock 44 I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those two are 2 great guns, and both have good warranty, good customer service, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
Tiff said, my 22. Is that what you have, an SR22? Yeah. So, okay. So if you have an SR22, let them know that you like it, or a Glock 44.
Okay, you ready for this next story?
Yes, sir.
So this guy right here was found dead. I forget how he died. So he was strangled, shot, and beaten, and I think stabbed too.
Wow.
So they found him in a park, I believe, and they believe he is the person, his exact same name, won $1 million in the lottery a couple days prior to his death. But they haven't confirmed whether it is for sure him or not. So this guy Francis D. won $1 million on an extreme green scratch-off ticket sold at a store that's a mile away from this dude's house. Let's see if I can see how he died.
So they don't know who it is yet.
Okay, so he was shot multiple times, stabbed, and burned, and then left dead. Wow. So pretty crazy. You know, you have to be very careful when you do get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay? Because there are people that are desperate or willing to do a lot to get it.
What's crazy is this could have been also like, you know, you could be like, because you can remain anonymous.
Sure. In some states, not in all states.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, but the people at the store still know people they told, right?
Yeah, and people brag, right? Like people brag, they go start telling people, and you don't realize like you're around predators. We had our one student that like bragged to one of his friends that he was saving up money to buy a brand new car.
Yep, I remember
and
that.
like showed his fat stack of money that he had hidden in his living room.
Yeah.
So then one night he starts hearing something on his back door. So he looked out and there were two or three men masked with guns. Yeah. So they kicked the door open. They held him there at gunpoint and they said, "Give me the money."
Yeah, they knew.
So they knew where it was. They went and got it. And then his girlfriend and his daughter his kid was asleep in the bedroom. One of the men went into the bedroom and this guy was being a man. And he said, like, "You're not going to go in there and hurt them," right?
Wow.
So they shot him in the spine and they actually paralyzed him from the waist down.
Yeah.
Now doctors think he will walk again, is what he told me.
Yeah, because he came to your class in his wheelchair, right?
Yeah. And I said to him, "You realize that this was one of your friends that did this, right?" And he said, "Yes, I know that." Yeah. So you got to understand who you're around.
Yeah.
You know, some people are going to encourage you and praise you on when you really succeed in life. Yeah. Other people are going to be very jealous and they're willing to do whatever to steal it from you.
And they're going to wait to steal it from you. Exactly.
Yeah. Just keep your mouth shut. Nobody needs to know. Keep your lifestyle very minimal and slowly increase your lifestyle. Yeah. Don't let people see.
Don't be driving Bentleys around. Just saying.
There's a guy that lives down the street from us, lives in a crappy, shitty little house, but he drives a brand new Bentley.
Yeah.
And,
doesn't it say like crypto on it or something?
No, that was some other lady we saw. That was a Rolls Royce we saw. But I just find it really funny that you're like, you live in this gross house and you're driving a brand new Bentley. Like maybe you need to take some Dave Ramsey financial management courses or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
seems weird.
Probably
to me.
just leased it or whatever. Anyway, next question because we got to get through these tonight,
all right,
babe.
So question 3. Okay. Can I use a firearm to protect my house? So I don't think I shared this story last week because we got shut down, but I had a woman in the class on 2 Saturdays ago, and I asked her why she wanted to carry a gun. And she said, "My daughter was arrested last night." And I was like, okay.
I don't think I heard this story.
No, okay. So here's what happened. The granddaughter, so the grandmother is who was in my class, the granddaughter, who was like 14, went to school, got into a fist fight. Ended up beating the crap out of this other 14-year-old girl. And usually that's where situations like this end, right?
Yeah.
You get in a fight, you lose, you move on with your life. But this girl decided to go home, tell her mom, tell her dad, tell her uncle, her cousins, every neighbor in like a 50-mile square radius.
Is this one of those families where everyone's like, "Get in the car"?
So now 20 adults drive over to this 14-year-old little girl's house, and they want to fight the little girl and any family member in the area.
No.
Okay, so let me ask you guys, tell me in the chat, if 20 crazy people are standing outside your house saying they want to fight you, what should you do?
Lock all the doors, call 911.
What should you not do, Tiff?
Go outside with a gun or go outside at all.
You should not go outside.
Yeah.
Well, this mother decided to put a gun in her waistband, which she doesn't have a carry permit. She decides to walk outside, and then during like the argument, she pulls the gun out. Sounds like the gun was just like pointed at the ground or whatever. But all these other people decide to call 911, and I'm sure they were saying things like, "She's threatening us, she's trying to kill us, blah, blah, blah."
Yep.
So the police come and she gets arrested. So she's improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon or firearm. So she's brandishing a gun. And number 2, she's carrying a firearm concealed without a carry permit. So what was interesting is the grandmother.
She was on her property, so the concealed is because she put it in her waistband and concealed.
If it would have been openly exposed, then that's legal, right? Because you're allowed to open carry on your own property.
But not in your hand.
But not in your hand, because that's called in hand, ready to use, which is illegal.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you have a right to use the gun, shoot somebody, right? Yeah. So then the grandmother was like, well, no, she didn't threaten anybody. And I said, ma'am. So I pulled my gun out, right?
Against yours.
Pulled my unloaded gun out, and I was holding it. I said, if I'm standing here arguing with you, even though I'm not pointing the gun at you, I am threatening to shoot you with that gun.
Yeah.
I said, that's what your daughter did, okay? And your daughter's looking at 1 year in prison for what she did. And she deserves it, okay? She deserves it. Because
that's
screwed
how
up.
things really escalate, too. That's how things get out of control.
Yeah, one person pulls out a gun, then the other person pulls it out, and now it's a huge shootout.
And then the next thing you know, people are dead, and they don't have to be, right? You did something stupid, lock the doors, let the police handle it. Now, if they're trying to get into your house, break into your house, break a window, kick the door down, then, you stand back on the phone with 911. I have a gun. If they come through this door, I'm going to shoot. But you don't go out, right? You stay inside.
That was like part of the question. The lady was like, she was looking for a way to justify her daughter's actions. So she said, well, she was protecting her house. And I said, well, what makes you think you have a right to use a gun to protect your house? And then she was confused. And I said, ma'am, you have a right to protect the people in the house.
Right.
You don't have a right to protect the house, okay?
Yeah.
And she just didn't really get that. So, it was a great example that another guy asked me yesterday. He goes, Ryan, what are the 3 biggest mistakes that gun owners make in Florida? And I said, I'll distill all mistakes that people make into one answer here. Oh, shit, I don't have it. The biggest mistake that people make is they do not understand the topics that are in this book.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. It's really funny, but I gave you guys everything.
Yeah.
It took me, that's 8 years, 6 to 8 years of research and study inside of that one book. So the one big thing that people do is they buy a gun, they start walking around with it, and they don't really know what they're allowed to do with it. Right. I said, that's a mistake. And then you have people like this grandmother. I'm sure she's upset, and I know she's a great lady. And
not a bad person by any means, but you did not know.
Her daughter thought you're allowed to pull out a gun in this situation, and now she's understanding. She's getting a very hardcore lesson in Florida gun law that you cannot do this.
Right.
We should be taking the easy way and learning from others' mistakes instead of learning from our own.
Okay, so put the book back up now that you put it there. Put the link. So, and all Ryan's hard work, all my hard work goes into this book, right? We buy it, we pay for it, and we say, you know what? We're going to give it to you free, right? All you have to do is pay a little bit of shipping and handling, $9.95.
Thanks, Mercedes.
And we are going to ship the book to you. So if you don't have a copy of the book yet, just go to floridaconcealedcarrylaw.com and claim your free copy. You just pay the shipping and handling, and I will package that up for you personally and send it out to you. And it is a small fee because you put a lot of work into that. I put a lot of work into that.
It takes me about a month.
It takes a lot.
A month locked in my office every year. 1 month. And we only got 12 of them. 1 month just to revise this book every single year.
And then I got to go in and do all the, the editing and covering. Then we got to send it to a lawyer. And then we got to send it to the editor. So, there's a lot of work that goes into this. Then we got to pay for an ISBN. Then we got to pay, all this stuff. I don't think people realize all the different things that you have to do to get this book going. And we have it.
And Valerie says, I paid full price. You still got a good deal.
Yeah, and if you paid full price, and some people still pay full price. It's on Amazon for $25. It's on our regular website for $25. But the book is a great deal. It's perfect to have, and you just need to flip through it and read it every now and then so you can really keep that stuff fresh on your mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something about this house thing, but I kind of forgot now because we got off on it. So is there any more questions before we...
One question. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so do you recommend a subcompact Para Ordinance 1911 chambered in 45 ACP for a first-time shooter? So this is a guy in the class. His brother or somebody wants to sell him this gun. And I just said, it's a nice gun. It's a cool, like, subcompact 1911 45, right? I said, it's a great gun. Like, I would probably buy it. But
not as a first-time shooter, as a concealed carry.
As a first-time shooter, it's going to be a lot, man. Like, that's going to be a lot. So, yeah, I mean, you just got to take that in perspective. Sometimes it's not about buying. Not all guns are equal, and you just need to get a gun that's at the level that you're at. I heard a speaker the other day say, you know, many times we are trying to compare someone else's chapter 25 to our chapter 2. You know, Joe Yeager can buy a subcompact 45 as his daily concealed carry gun because he's a very experienced shooter, right? So he's on chapter 25. If you're at the introduction of being a proper gun owner, then you're not ready to be at a chapter 25. You got to go slow. I was explaining to a group of people today, you know, we got to be okay with the crawl, walk, run mindset. Nobody just comes out of the womb, and if they did, they'd be a freak of nature. Come out of the womb like, I'm going to go run a marathon.
Chucky doll.
No, you come out, you got to learn how to crawl, which takes time.
No,
it's a
first
process.
you got to learn how to roll over.
Okay.
I mean, it goes slower than that,
Then
right?
you got to learn how to crawl. Then you got to learn to walk. Then you got to learn to run. Then you got to learn to run faster. Like, this is a progression. Many times people just try to go from 0 to 100. I want to go from never having a business before to doing $10 million a year in revenue.
But that's when you screw up.
To be honest,
that's when a lot of mistakes happen.
Every time we've made massive mistakes in business, it's when we went from, I don't even know if I've shared this story on here publicly, but when our commercial cleaning company went from $0 in revenue, zero.
We didn't even have any machines yet.
And I didn't even know how to do anything. It was my first day in business. First day in business, I landed a commercial cleaning contract worth $180, spanning $180,000, spanning 6 counties in the state of Florida.
Yes.
And the guy that I'm negotiating this contract with, he's like, "Can you handle this?" I was like, "Yep." Like, I couldn't even imagine. I'd love if there was a recording of me talking to him about this.
This was the worst.
Because I said it totally straight-faced, and he was like, "Can you handle this?" I was like, "Of course. Yep, I can do it."
This is one of the worst times in my life. It is.
It was. It's one of the only moments in my life that I truly was like, I should just run away. I should leave my $5,000 worth of equipment and just run out the emergency exit. It was so bad.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
So, it is okay. It is normal to do the whole crawl, walk, run. That is what we want everybody to do. And you don't have to rush it, right? Because you learn, that's where you're going to do your best learning and your best, you know, that foundation. You have to learn the foundation or else you screw everything up. So, somebody said, how get it legal to carry a Draco as a CWP? I think they were just saying, can you legally carry a Draco as a CWP?
Yeah, I mean, it's considered a handgun in Florida. It is very aggressive. I'll be highly impressed if I see you on TV shooting somebody with it. You wouldn't be able to possibly do it. It would have to be in a backpack or whatever. And, you know, red flags go off. Somebody walked into our building the other day with this huge backpack, and the first thing I asked him, I said, "Are you going camping?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "You got a massive backpack. I assume you have camping gear in there. Like, what are you doing?" Because it was just obnoxiously big. Have you ever seen those obnoxious backpacks? You start walking around with one of those obnoxious backpacks, and people are going to start asking you, "What the hell are you doing?" Right?
So there was, I don't know what it was, a guy shot someone, right? And then there's the news article, and what picture do they show? They show a Glock with a 33-round mag in it. And I'm like, oh, dude had a 33-round mag. So I read the article. The guy didn't have a 33-round mag. They used that picture just because, right? So I went to the comments. I'm like, I'm gonna comment on this, right? Well,
I'm gonna show them.
A bunch of people beat me to it. They're like, why would you throw, 33-round magazine, blah, 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 blah. You shoot someone in self-defense using a Draco,
Even
and
if it's justified,
I will tell you.
You are screwed, buddy.
I will tell you that it's going to be plastered everywhere, like assault,
he used a semi-automatic assault machine pistol.
Machine pistol gun, like it's going to be so blown up. I can guarantee you that. Yeah, propaganda, exactly. I can tell you that. Stock photo, right. It was just
Yeah,
funny
do you remember
because-
there was a woman talking about a shooting that happened, and in the B-roll, they're showing footage of a shotgun, a pump-action shotgun shooting a watermelon.
Yeah.
And they're like, he had an assault rifle just like this one, and then they rack it. Boom. And I'm like, who's in charge here? Okay,
Okay, so 2 things before we go. 2 things. So I saw that Shell came on here. She's late. There she is. Okay, so I saw in the women's group that, a couple months ago, she got basically fired from her job because they found out that she had a gun in her car, and then she filed a lawsuit or a complaint with the state attorney and stuff like that. Well, they actually settled with her.
Oh, really?
They settled for I want to say, Shell, can you clarify?
Maybe she doesn't want to say how much.
No. I think they gave a severance package, a year severance package or something like that. So very interesting because I was kind of like, I don't know if they're gonna bother because it's a gun thing and they might just back out, and who's gonna want to take that. So very interesting. We'll let her. Yep, she won. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
send me the details in an email, Michelle, and maybe I'll put that in the next version of the book. That story.
Yep. They settled for her annual salary.
Cool.
So very cool. And then I had another thing, and then I forgot it. I must be really tired tonight because I keep having these thoughts, so I talk really fast to try and get it out, and then by the time I get there, I forget.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen to you?
That's called Alzheimer's, Tiffany. Early onset Alzheimer's. Early
What would you
onset
do?
dementia. What would I do?
If I forgot who you were,
I would
you
shift
be
our house around a lot, almost every night, just to mess with you.
Yeah.
Nothing would be consistent.
You probably would too.
I
You're
probably
such a
would.
jerk.
And I'd videotape it. It would be a whole YouTube bit every single day. What does Tiffany think? We're gonna convince her that she's the one that killed all the dinosaurs, and you got to apologize to Mother Earth for killing them all. Stuff like that every day. Every day would be something different. It'd be awesome.
Wow. Glad I married you, Rye.
Yeah.
Great.
I'd make you wear weird clothes out in public and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I got lots of ideas now.
What the
I might
heck,
even write a
man?
book about this just to help other people that are dealing with the same problem.
Dude, wow, I can't believe I married you.
Yeah, that would be
Sometimes
awesome.
I wonder. All right, do you have anything else
No.
on there?
No, not really.
Okay, what? All right. So,
Yeah, just like 50 First Dates, except I'd be the mean one. Adam Sandler was the nice one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody had a question, and I think that's what it was, and then I forgot it, but it's probably
Okay,
buried
so
now.
Blickirk something said, while I don't have the money nor time right now for this, would you say that trying to own an automatic machine gun is a worthwhile investment, both for resale or self-defense down the road?
Are you saying a legit? 'Cause
Yeah,
some
real
people,
machine gun.
A
A
legit
real
full
National
auto?
Firearms Act machine gun. Here's the thing. The NFA market is not when you're going to buy a house, right? I can easily go and look at somebody's house and say, okay, based on facts and statistics, this home is worth $200,000. I'm going to offer you $100,000, okay? And then if they accept it, you made that money. So smart investing, you make your money when you buy the thing, right? You buy the house for cheap. You buy the gun for cheap. If you guys know me, if you ever sell me a gun, I am going to buy the gun cheap, okay? Or I'm not interested. But buying a house for when it's worth $200,000 and you pay $200,000, hoping that one day it's going to increase in value, that's not investing. That's called speculating, and that's what not smart people do. Okay, that's what broke people do, or super super wealthy because they can afford that much.
They can
that
afford
much
to
risk.
lose it. Yeah.
But people like us, we can't afford that. There was a lady one time who posted, there used to be a forum called Subguns. It doesn't exist anymore, where it was like Craigslist for machine guns. This lady posted on there one time. I remember I was at the Chinese restaurant by the gun store. She posted, my husband just died. I have a fully automatic AR-15. He paid $7,000 for it 50 years ago.
Right.
All I want is $7,000. I'm telling you, I was lunging. Type my message out, send it. I will drive money to you personally right now because that gun is worth $30,000, right? But it was sold already before I could even get her the message. But if she said, hey, it's worth 30 and I'll sell it for 30, I'm not interested. Why would I buy something for what it's worth? I want to buy something for what it's not worth. In fact, this is also why we try very hard, and you guys tell us if we do a good job of this or not. When we sell a product like this, AR-15 Secrets course, my concealed carry course or whatever, my goal is that when you guys see how much stuff you get, how valuable it is and how good a quality it is, that you think to yourself, this is worth a lot more than $97. Or this book, my Florida Concealed Carry book, wow, I only paid $10 for this. This is worth a lot more than $10.
Or even full price, $25. It's still worth it.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is that you guys, when you get our products, you're like, wow. And I have an ulterior motive here, right? Because when you buy something and you feel like, wow, I got an amazing deal on it, then you want to buy it again in the future. Yeah. I bought a product from somebody last week that I bought it. I was super excited when I bought it. I haven't even told Tiffany about this. I bought it, and then I went through it, and I was like, wow, that was not worth the money I paid for it. Mm-hmm. I will never buy a product from that company again. I could go asking for a refund, but I don't care. I don't have time for it. But I could ask for a refund, but it's a shit product, and I'll never buy from you again. So you got me once. You'll never get me again. Mm-hmm. I want people to buy our products and say, holy crap, everything I buy from these dudes, they give me way more than it costs me. That's when you should buy a machine gun as an investment. When you know for sure you are getting an amazing deal.
Yeah. Yep. And you got some money to kind of waste because they're expensive. Like, let's be honest, there's nothing cheap there. So that is it. There may be some people that came on late, so you don't know about this. Why don't you put the bottom thingy up there for us?
I don't have one.
You don't have a lower? Okay. www.ar15secrets.com. Ryan is going to teach you. So we're going to send you this workbook, right?
It's not a workbook.
Or
illustrated manual.
Thank you, Ryan. Illustrated manual that is going to go step by step.
They can't hear you if you can't talk in the mic.
Step by step. How to build an AR-15 even if you have zero gunsmithing experience. It also comes with the online course. So Ryan's going to walk you through each part install, each thing. And you get the builder's manual, and you get a bunch of other stuff you'll see on the page. So if you're interested in building your own AR-15 rifle, instead of just buying one stock that's on the shelf, right? You can put all these different things. And he even gives you, at the end, like the best custom upgrades and why. So why you should spend a little bit more on this, and you can spend a little less on this type of thing. So that you can get the coolest AR-15 that you build all by yourself. And didn't you have Jackson build?
Yeah, he's got one. We're actually going to live stream inside of, there's an exclusive Facebook group that comes when you purchase this, so you can ask me questions, and we can kind of talk about it and get your questions answered more specifically. We're going to do a live stream building of me, Lincoln, and Jackson, each building their own rifle.
Nice.
We'll do it in there. We'll probably do it on Zoom. So that way you guys can jump on and talk to the boys, whatever, talk to me as we're building it, which I think would be really fun.
But that's how easy it is. Like if you know how to just follow the steps, then you're able to do it. So if you, and this is the cool thing about this, right? The cool thing about building your own AR-15, not only can you tell your friends, like, I built this with my own hands. If you want to pass it down to your kids, really cool to pass something down that you built. But also, you can piece it out, right? You can buy the lower this week. You can buy the lower parts kit next week. You can buy the barrel the next month. So you can, kind of have things coming in. You can, research, which Ryan gives you some options of, this is what you want to look for this part. You can kind of figure out which one you want. You can do, different color combinations. There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
Right? Super cool. So putting this book together, I was like, I want to build my own AR.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to do it like a designer AR. Like, I want to do it really cool.
Lots of engraving?
I don't know, but I think I can make a really cool looking AR.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So anyway, if you're interested at all, just go to ar15secrets.com and you can get that from us. That's it.
Okay.
We're done.
Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you. Have a great night.
Peace out.
Be safe.